Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for what I promise you will be one hell of a show.
All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving, so keep dancing.
I'm so tangy, people call me my tangy. But there's a word, bitches, I'ma keep it banging. Truth is like a rotten tooth, you gotta spit it out. Let the bottom two, let my wisdom work it out. Big on the underground, can't knock me down. Lucky leaves, bitches, better buy up the man. I sleep on my talent and I stand by it too. I can say lots with the little words if you like. Them had them, yeah, me, the madam, yeah. I'll introduce you to the dooms. Come let me go, do you like my perfume? Made it at home with some gasoline and shrooms. Oil and water are two extremes. We like fucking carpets, you like fucking brooms. Why is your touches some ugly looking thing? The managers aren't downloading on bang. My cousin's got his GCS and decorating. He's handy, you might need him when I finish what I'm saying. Just be frank, you understand. I don't care what you smell, what you fucking drank. I love to be pissed and made to a yanks. Cause it's not me and you, it's the fucking banks. Bring the noise when we run upon them.
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 If it's like a rotten tooth, you gotta spit it out. Press the button too, let my wisdom work it out. The world is out, sending your soldier pals. The words I announce, hope you heard them like cows. I'm a anybody, Roger, Charlie, and Rich. Bitch, my swag, bitches can't touch this. So click, 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 please get off my dick. Just cause I know I don't make me thick. I'm an overweight, heavyweight, be my slick Rick. If you need the cheese, then my shit's got stick. Got bag, spray, bucket, stick. Got tons of the fun stuff, tons and tons of it. Bring the noise when we run upon them.
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 Please welcome the Label M artistic team.
Free.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Can we give the team a big hand? Let's give a big hand in this place. Come on. We need a bit more of a warmer welcome.
The ladies on your end.
It's great to be here. My name is Richard Manner, one of the international artistic team members for Label M, based here in New York, and the educational manager for the Americas. I'm really excited because we're going to be doing something for you. We want to maximize that time that we have within the 40 minutes with you. So what we wanted to do is show you the 3 different elements of our education. Our education is very diverse. We're very passionate about education. And so what we wanted to demonstrate for you and show you through presentations is some cutting on men's, on women's, some looks from Fashion Week, and really sharing with you techniques that will inspire you, but they'll also be educational for you to be able to take back in the salon. Now, I've worked with this team that we've flown in from London for many, many years. We've traveled the world for many years, and I'm really excited to be on stage. So I would love to introduce the team. Do you want to meet them? Woo! 5 of you. Do you want to meet them? Oh, okay, that's much better. Let's start with the ladies. You're very familiar with Miss Effie Davies. Effie Davies is an international art director. Yeah, give us some love. Come on.
Go on, Effie.
You know, you've got really an award-winning team up here. We've all won British Hairdressing Awards. Effie's so creative, avant-garde queen. She's won Newcomer of the Year like 50 years ago. And, oh, sorry, no, it's about 5 years ago. And she's also won Avant-Garde of the Year at the British Hairdressing Awards. Very, very talented. On my right is Indira Shawaka, another queen of avant-garde. If you don't know her, you need to know her. She's amazing. She's also won Avant-Garde of the Year twice at the British Hairdressing Awards. Let's give her a big hand. Come on. For all those barbers out there, we got Mr. Kevin Luchman. Also, he won the Big Shot last night. International art director. He's going to be doing a men's cut for us. Very, very talented. Also does photography. On my left, last but not least, he has won London Hairdresser of the Year 3 times, and he is the current London hairdresser at the moment, Mr. Kaz Sakis.
Hi, guys.
So it's great to have you guys here. Why don't we pass you over to Kaz? Maybe you can open it up, and then we can talk about our techniques.
Great. It's lovely to be here, guys. What an amazing show and what an amazing event. I just want to say, Richard Manner was also London Hairdresser of the Year. I let him win one time. I felt sorry for him. But he was also London Hairdresser of the Year before he came to the States. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So with the look that I'm working here today is taken out from our new collection called Duality. Yeah. Now, Duality gives us a creative freedom. It allows us as hairdressers to be individuals, okay? But what we've got is a foundation of techniques and a set sectioning pattern. And within those, it allows us to create whatever's in our imagination. Now, the look I'm working on here today is called the angles. And as you can see here, it's a series of triangles. Can we see that in the camera up there? Okay. So I've got one in the center back. I've got 2 either side behind the ear. And then I've got another 3 at the front. Now, that center one here is center one. The middle one is offset. And this is going to enable me to create a really nice asymmetric fringe area as well. To prepare the hair, I've worked through some of the Label M thickening cream. This is a perfect cutting lotion, but it's also going to allow me to create a really nice density into the hair. So let me get on with this for the moment. I'm going to be doing a whole haircut, by the way, in 20 minutes. So let's see how this goes. Wish me luck. So let's see how this goes, and I'll hand you straight over to Kevin.
Thank you very much, Kaz. Good afternoon, guys. How's everyone doing? All good? Yeah? So, a real pleasure to be here again. What I'm working on is one of the men's haircuts. Now, you can see here, men's is a massive, massive trend at the moment with both barbering as well as men's hairdressing. And what we want to show with you guys is obviously how you can work with something and really create something that's going to be diverse. Because within men's hairdressing, I find that when you're working with technique, you want there to be a versatility within the haircut. Now, this is the model that you saw within our Label M campaign that actually walked with the actual first of the actual show that we created. The fringe was worn down on the face. And what I want to show you is a technique of working with it slightly different by taking it shorter throughout the sides and the back. We're working up towards a longer length. and the length on the top, we're going to start to work with a lot of texture and movement. So what we want to do is wear the hair now away from the face. So we're going to work a technique where we're going to work to a little bit more longer length towards the front, and this is going to then be able to push the hair away from the face. Again, key products which we worked with was the label men's grooming cream, and we worked that on the hair to create that natural texture. But as you can see here, as I start to work with the water, it actually just enables to actually remove the product through, and then we can start to prep it through and actually blow dry the hair in a different shape. So again, you can see here, we've just worked simply with a horseshoe, which has been taken just above the curvature of the head, dropped it down slightly lower towards the back area, just so we can maintain a little bit more longer length towards the top area. And then from that, we're going to fade up from the underneath, working towards the longer length, slight disconnection on the side areas, and then from that, then we're going to start to style it. Same like Cos, doing a full haircut in 20 minutes. So again, you know, just showing you different techniques and styles that we can work towards it. So now I'm going to pass you over to one of the beautiful, lovely ladies, Miss Effie Davies.
Thank you.
Big round of applause.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Label M show. So, I'm just going to go straight into techniques because, as you can see, I've got my hands full. What I'm doing for you, I really wanted to demonstrate the F8 braid. And the inspiration behind the F8 braid, as you can see, is not a normal 3-strand Dutch braid, as you say, or a reverse scalp braid. What it is, you know, when we do the textured feel, the textured look, when we wrap hair around the pin, as you can see, and we create the figure of 8, or you might know it as the infinity plait, when the infinity kind of like braid goes all the way down. What we have done is we actually placed it on the scalp, and it has exactly the same feel, and the skeptic behind it is literally 3 sections, okay? The 2 sections on either side is my base, is my pin, where I'm actually wrapping the hair in a figure of 8 going in and out and over and under and over and under. And the way I'm actually adding hair, if you want to have a look, I've got my actually bases 1 and 2. I really wanted to show you that the actual step by step. And it is only this middle section that will travel. And I'm doing the figure of 8, your infinity as you like. So I'm going under, I'm going over, and I'm going over it again. And as soon as I reach my parting, as you can see, I'm grabbing a horizontal section, and I'm going over, and under, and over, and under, literally creating that beautiful infinity figure of 8 technique, but on the scalp. And that's where the actual name comes in, the F8 from the figure of 8. And what helped me really achieve that is wax. Every time I braid, I prefer using wax, and I'm using the Label M texture wax stick, as you can see. If you want to have a closer look, of course, we're going to take all the models afterwards at the Label M booth. So come up close and personal to have a closer look at our models. Thank you very much. And I would like to pass you over to a very inspirational woman and super talented, Indira Shalvekar.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's absolutely a pleasure to be here with all you guys. Again, inspiration for all of us to see so many talented hairdressers in one room, but also such an amazing audience. So thank you for being here, and thanks that we can share this information with you. So really, when it comes to editorial, again, I think creativity and playing with hair is endless. You can really push your boundaries to become a little bit more avant-garde, a little bit more fantasy, a little bit more over the top. Now, again, really what it is really simple techniques. It's like simple classic techniques like ponytail or braids. But again, you're pushing it in a kind of an extension that it becomes a little bit stronger. So really what we have done already is a lot of perfect little squares or rectangulars going smaller into bigger all the way through. And we started to work a lot of ponytails with some elastics. So literally just put all our ponytails into place. And now what we are doing is we're going to start to join every single ponytail to each other. So for example here, you can see I have started to join the other ponytail into the same. And what we're doing now is can hold here for me, please. This side. What we're doing here is now using our pintail comb and just start to pull that out. And that's how you're creating that really kind of nice looping effect. And it kind of feels like a finger wave, but in a higher way. So I'm going to continue this all the way through the front, and I'm going to give you a little bit more an insight afterwards.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So what we're doing today is we wanted to show you something that's kind of wearable in this case. Like I said, we wanted to show you a variety of work. You've got something that's a little bit more creative, something that will inspire you, that you'll see more on the catwalks. This you also see on the catwalks. We did in London Fashion Week. It's a technique that I think you can do in the salon. We're seeing a lot of those braids with the Kardashians, etc. But what better way to do it than mixing it up rather than a three-strand braid? We're doing knots. If you want to bring the camera a little bit closer, I just want to show you this technique. So basically, we take sections like you would across, parallel. We've just done a knot here and a knot there. So we add the knot. We take that. We split that into two. My assistant, Devon, who's an amazing educator for us, gives me the underneath. I add that down. Thanks for that whistle. And we grab the other one from underneath, and all we do now is we tie that. If I can just get you to hold that so I can show them. We literally grab that hair, we tie a knot, and we begin to create this chain braid. So it looks a little bit more fresher and different. You can see the other side how it looks. And if you've got little bits that come out, it's fine. Whenever you do Fashion Week, whenever you do even clients, it's nice to soften it so it doesn't look too perfect. If perfect is what you want, great, go for perfect. Put a little bit more product, a little bit more hairspray, a little bit more wax. But if not, I think it looks younger when it's slightly destroyed. So in this case, we're doing section by section, not putting too much product. The product that we use for this is the backstage favorite Label M Volume Mousse. It's a mousse that comes out in a spray. We all used it on our prepping, for our prepping, and what it does, it gives a nice texture to the hair to be able to mold it and create what we're creating here. So I'm going to continue doing this, just to show you the other side. We've done one side completed, and then we've got an elastic we're going to tie just to give it a little edge. Again, these pieces are nice. We're going to destroy it slightly later, and then we've left a little piece around the front, which later we're going to work and create this web-like texture by using the Label M hairspray. Just to let you guys know, for those that don't know, we sell in professional salons only, and we also sell in salon-centric. What's very important for us is to keep our line professional, recommended by the hairdresser to the client. And so education for us is very, very important. And so with the products, you've got a full line. You can create many, many different textures, whether you're in the salon, whether you're backstage at Fashion Week, wherever you are, we've got a full line to create every single texture that you need with hair. Anyway, I'm going to continue now working the knot and then begin with the elastic through the back. If you have any questions, we'll talk later.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about technique now. So let's have a look what we're doing within each triangle, because what the subsections allow you to do is do exactly that. So we've got the camera that can come over here so I can, okay. Right, so let's take the back section first of all. Where are we? There we go, there we go. Okay. So that section here through the back, what I've done is I've started on the outside of the section. I'm elevating out at 90 degrees and then over-directing all to the side. Okay?
Fine, right?
Then I come round the other side. Whoop, pick the water spray off. Then I come round the other side and I'll put it all the way to the other side. So we're building up the weight through the center back. Yeah?
It's fine, right?
Then the two panels through the side, I'm pulling only to one direction.
Good or not?
Okay? They all got over-directed back. So it goes now from long in the middle, into short, into long, into short again. Okay? And within each triangle, you can really create whatever over-direction you want to. So encouraging individuality. And that's what Label M is all about. And what we've seen in fashion, at Fashion Week, just 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, we came straight from there, is individuality. So where we used to see catwalk shows where all the models had exactly the same looks, yeah? They all had like a ponytail or they were all cloned. what we're being asked for by the designers is to create looks for every different model. So they're being cast as individuals themselves. You know, and this is great for us because we bring this into our clientele and into our education. For us, education is key because it's education that makes us experts. And also education is what allows us to pass information from one person to the next. So we can train our assistants from grassroots levels all the way up to experienced creative hairdressers. And ultimately, this is what we're doing here this weekend, is we're all sharing with each other. And I've seen a lot of the shows over the last few days, and that's a key message from everybody, is sharing. You know, and if we share, sharing is caring, but if we share, this is how we can grow also as hairdressers. Okay, thank you.
Very nice. You know, as Kos said, you know, sharing is caring, you know. I let in my water spray and now it's broken. Don't worry, Kos, I've got it.
Oh, you got it? Oh.
Yeah.
Yes,
So, I'm going to need it back in a minute. It works, it's fine. Okay, guys, so just to recap on what we've done at the moment. So, you can see here throughout the sides and the back, we started to work with the clippering technique. Now, of course, you can see with the model, it's been pre-lightened. So what we want to do is we wanted to work with a fading technique, but what we want to create is something that's slightly a little bit more softer, so you can still see the contrast of the color and still working from short towards a longer length. You can see here where I've dropped the horseshoe down slightly lower, we're going to maintain a little bit more longer length towards the crown area. Now that's the one thing that I find that a lot of people find a little bit more trickier when they're working on short hair or they're working on gents hair. So now, I'm just going to wet the hair down with my broken hairspray, or water spray should I say. And what we're going to do, we're just going to start to subdivide the section through and start to work towards the length from the top. So how we're going to section it through is we're going to work through with a radial. Now a radial is taken from the top of the ears and then works either side. Now what this is going to do is going to start to subdivide from the front and the back area. And I think it's problem areas, what we find is generally around the crown area, if it's taken too short, it tends to stick up. Okay, so this is why we've dropped the horseshoe down slightly lower so we can control that weight and that length. Where's the camera guy at? I was there. Okay, so I'm going to point towards this side here just so I can start to show you the guys' technique. So what we're going to work with now, we're going to work slight diagonal back sections. Now as I start to work that slight diagonal back section, you can see here working it slightly shallow. And the reason why I'm doing this is so I can start to build up a little bit more weight and length around the crown area. So just combing the hair up from the underneath, and just before I start to cut the hair, I'm just going to cut that section down towards that stationary guide, which was taken from the guide previously before I start to work with the clippers. From here, I'm just going to start to point cut parallel to the guide from the underneath. Working towards that center back area. Once I've done that, I'm going to take a parallel diagonal back section. And again, what we're going to start to do now is we're going to start to over-direct this back down towards this stationary guide here. But now my elevation is staying the same. Okay, if I start to rise up my elevation and work it slightly higher, what we're going to start to do is we're going to start to lay the hair. But we don't want to do that. We want to maintain as much weight and length, especially because we're working towards a longer length, towards the area on the top area. So just working it through, you can see with my finger position is parallel to that diagonal back section which I've taken. From there, same thing again, elevation's low, and then point cutting just to connect it towards the guide from the underneath. Working towards the center back area. I'm going to work towards the center back area, and once I've done this last section, then we're going to do exactly the same on the opposite side. So again, you can see here the elevations are maintained the same throughout. So again, as I start to comb it down, you can see we've connected it through from the guide from the underneath, but we've maintained the length. So again, it's all about versatility. It's all about understanding your client and understanding hair. So again, we're working with individuals. And like I said, because we're working up towards a longer length, we want to maintain that length towards crown area. But again, if you want to take it in slightly shorter, of course, rise up your elevation all the way up. Nothing could stop us. We're all the way up. Yeah? Okay, so now I'm going to pass you back to Effie, and she can touch on what she's doing at the moment.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm literally just going over and doing some finishing touches, as you can see. I've completed my F8 in the middle, and I opted to go a little bit more texture, as you can see. But you can see the actual density of it. The wider you hold your base, the wider and the looser the actual F8 will be. So that's what I did in the middle. I went a little bit wider so I can have this beautiful texture coming through. As we can see in the sides, I put a little bit more texture wax tape from Label M, and I went really nice and tight. So what I'm trying to say is basically the possibilities are endless when it comes to it. And it's that little element that, you know, the client can love in the salon. It's not about just creating a super editorial look. It's, you know, of course on stage we're doing that, but it's all about adapting the technique, understanding the technique and incorporating to the clientele. Because at the end of the day, that's where we all are in the salons as well, right? So it finishes beautiful. So instead of doing 2 Dutch braids, for instance, next time to your client, you do 2 fantastic F8s coming through, and it's quite exciting for them to go, oh, what is that? So from there, what I have done in the sides, there was a lot of hairspray coming through, as you can see, because I wanted it to look very, very lived in. That she had it done yesterday, and then she slept, and it starts breaking off throughout. And with the hairspray and the heat, we just flattened it down. And as you can see, as the last kind of piece, I'm gonna go back to kaboom, and take the water spray, because after I have a solid surface, I'm wetting it down. And this straight away gives it a more of an editorial feel and look. It breaks the actual sections. As a finishing touch, I work with a 4-strand braid. So literally took the hair that comes over to the side, incorporated one of the F8s here so it stays nice and flat on the nape, and just richly weaved it over and then under and over. So you do exactly the same and the opposite on the opposite side. Putting a little bit of the Resurrection style dust, and what I'm doing is I'm just literally folding it over. I'm gonna pin it, I'm gonna play with the texture a little bit, and I'm gonna come back to you for a little recap. Thank you very much.
Woo. Looks amazing. Amazing. You know, it's one thing doing it in the salon, it's another thing doing it in front of 3,000 people.
Yeah, no pressure.
Right? Indira.
Okay, so just came in the wrong time for you guys to explain, but I'm literally working through the front area, and I'm trying to incorporate kind of the same wave through the front, working with a finger wave effect and going from a little bit more drier texture into really more like a wetter and compactor wave. So again, it's really important, I feel like, in when it comes to anything that is hair ups to kind of avant-garde, is to really understand the basic techniques. Because once you know the basic techniques, like Effie said, it's endless. You can really manipulate hair and play with hair, and just even working with a simple finger wave, which is something really classic and usually looks really kind of pretty, depending on how you creating it, if it's a little bit a different product that you're using, a little bit more stronger, like in this case I'm using the Holland Gloss, which will make it a little bit more harder and shinier. Again, straight away that will look much more aggressive and a little bit stronger. So automatically you're bringing a classic technique into more an editorial feelish. So again, I'm working with these amazing silver clips. Again, I was very lucky because I'm coming from Switzerland, and finger waves was quite something quite basics that we had to learn. So really working with very thin finger waves at the moment, and using the back of the comb as well to flatten it and position my fingers in there and pushing it into one direction and then again into the opposite.
Okay. All right, so I'm just working through the finishing touches of the braid. As you can see, we've worked the knot braid all the way through towards the back. And what we've done, we've added this elastic. You just buy the elastic in a roll, and there's a slight trick to it, because what you want to do is you want the elastic to go right next to each other, so it gives it this sort of effect. So what you do, you get the elastic, you do 2 knots, you leave a piece that's longer, and then you begin to wrap all the way down, and then you tie the knot at the bottom. Okay, so it's very seamless all the way through. I'm not sure if the camera's on, as you can see. Okay, so we've done that on both sides, and that's given us a nice texture. If you can lift the camera slightly, you'll be able to see, I don't know where that's coming from, but it's there you go. You can see that it's got this different kind of effect with the braid. Now, with Label M, we have these colored sprays that we actually have at the moment, but we're launching these new ones that I've just used. It's a red highlight and a blue one. And you shake it and you spray it into the hair, and it gives it the tone of it being red, blue. We've got blonde. We've got 4 different colors to work with. And the idea is just to give it another reflection and to make it a little bit more 3D. The good thing with these sprays is that they completely wash out. So if you're testing it on a client, or if you're doing a photo shoot on a professional model, it completely washes out. We guarantee that because we test it ourselves. Something about these techniques that you're seeing, because a lot of us work in the salon every day. We don't really get the opportunity to do perhaps Fashion Week. We probably don't get the opportunity to do a photo shoot. Let me encourage you as a hairdresser to broaden your experiences. If you ever get a chance to assist at a fashion show or a photo shoot, because there's so many different elements to hairdressing. What we're doing, the 3 of us, we're dressing hair. There's no cutting. And whenever you get the opportunity to be creative and to work with these different techniques, what it does, it keeps you inspired. Okay? It keeps you motivated. And why that's important? Because we do what we do about 80% of the time of our lives. Okay? We're hairdressers. We spend so much in the salons. And I think sometimes if we do the same thing over and over again in the same place with the same clients, it can get a little boring. And that's why this kind of a thing is important. But you don't create anything different if you don't try anything different. Sometimes you've got to step out of the comfort zone, maybe try a technique. I wasn't very strong with editorial when I was younger, but then I kept practicing. And the more you practice, the more confident you get. But what's really important is that you end up getting inspired. When you do a new technique and it looks really good, and you do a photo shoot or you do it on a client and they love it, it inspires us as hairdressers. And I think that's attractive. Never lose your first love as a hairdresser. I think sometimes what can happen is we get into management, or we own the salon, we get into business, and we forget the first love of being creative. Let's never lose our first love. Let's stay creative. Let's stay passionate. Let's stay motivated so we can inspire and motivate our colleagues, our staff, and each other. Can I get an amen, brother? It's true. So whenever you get the opportunity, assist people. Let's never think we're too good. Let's always remain humble. I'll tell you a secret I think that I'm learning, I haven't learned, is the balance of being confident to be on stage and talk, but humble to learn from an assistant. Let's never think we know it all. There's always something new. Let's remain humble, let's remain flexible, and it's amazing when you try new techniques and you learn from each other how inspiring you end up and how of an inspiration you'll end up being within your salon, within your staff. Anyway, my technique, I'm gonna just finish off this front area. Woo! Oh, if you're gonna give me a hand, give me a good one. I'm kidding. All right. So with this part of the technique, if I can get you to look in whichever camera, maybe this camera. Okay, we want a little bit of detail around here. I don't want it to be perfect and clean. I want it to look like a web. So we're going to use the hairspray, the Label M hairspray, fantastic spray. You use it from the end, and then we're going to squash it with the can to give us this kind of web-like effect through the front, which I think looks quite cool. It's quite current, it's modern, but still wearable. But anyway, I'm going to continue with that and pass you over to the Mac Daddy, Cos Sakis.
Thanks, Richie. Okay, so finished the haircut now, and you can see how all the different panels suddenly all come together. Now, I was talking about what were the trends we saw at Fashion Week, and, the young people of today, I wish I could say I was one of them, but I've probably passed that few years. But, they don't see it's a sexless society for them, genderless society. Yeah, it's not about who one person is, but it's about who you are as a character, and that's something that's really important. And we've seen brand new face models cut their hair, which they were originally asked to traditionally with modeling, from down here into short little crops, buzzing it off, little bobs, little mullet shapes, and they're now dictating this very anti-agency type of feel. And this is what we're after, both with our creative collections and also within the Label M advertising campaign. So I'm using now a product called Texturizing Volume Spray. It's one of our hero products, and it comes in a spray, and then it just allows you just to manipulate, just to touch. As hairdressers, we love to touch. Yeah, so it allows us just to zhuzh the hair and just mold it into the shape and the texture that we want to, okay? But it doesn't have that hold that the hairspray does. So it gives it that flexibility. Clients love it because when they touch their hair, it's not like really hard either. Okay, so I'm going to put the finishing touches now to my look, and I'll hand you over. You ready?
Thank you very much, guys. Okay, so same with myself, just working with a little bit more of the finishing touches. The length on the top, just over-directed everything back towards the stationary point, just so we can maintain the length towards the front. Again, I worked a little bit of channel cutting, and what channel cutting is going to do is going to encourage to start to push the hair away from the face, because you can see here we start to work. It's not even showing it on camera. Okay, so I'm working with a little bit of texturizing volume spray, just starting to tweak the fringe. Yeah, and as you can see, this beautiful editorial model. Oh, there he is. Okay, so like I said, working a little bit of the channel cutting, which is helping to encourage to wear the hair away from the face. It was slightly disconnected on the side areas, just so we've got a little bit of versatility. So what we're going to work with now, we're going to work a little bit of a Label M hairspray. And it's one of our backstage favorite products to use at London Fashion Week. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to work with the hairdryer, pushing the hair away from the face, and working with the hairspray. We're just going to work it just on the curvature of the head. And what we want to create is a square silhouette. Again, working towards the front ever so slightly. Working the same on the opposite side as well. And then from that, what we're going to start to use now, I'm going to work a little bit of this Label Men's Deconstructor. Okay, and as you can see here, within our Label M range, we've got Label Men's. Now, this product here is really designed for the male grooming range. You know, it's specifically worked through, you know, tested on different models, working with different lengths. And with the deconstructor itself, it's a nice product where it's a creamy-based product where it gives it a little bit more separation and definition, but it gives it a slight little bit of a sheen as well. So it's nothing that's going to be too heavy. You can see here it's very playable as well, so we can create different textures within the hair. So same thing again, I'm just going to start to tweak it through, working the products just throughout the curvature, just so we can still maintain the square silhouette. I'm going to use your camera as a mirror. You know, as we know, it's quite hard to actually style the hair, working it through, having a look at the shape that we want to create. You can see I quite like the idea of having that separation there, you know, it's a little bit more lived in. It's not too done, you know, and I think that's the direction that we're working with in men's hair, you know, it's something that's a little bit more textured, a little bit more lived in. I'm going to finish it off with just a little bit of the Label M hairspray as well. And what I'm going to do, just before I just walk up the stage, I'm going to stand my model up. I'm going to do a quick little recap.
Amazing.
Just like to stand on the center of the stage. Stand there for me. Okay, so you can see here, just working with a men's haircut, working with it short throughout the sides and the back, working with a clippering technique. You can see here, just working with the fade as well, but just working with the low fade so we can still see the pre-light and length of the hair. The length on the top, really just connecting it through towards the center back area. Length on the top, just giving it a lot of texture and separation. Working with key products like the Label M volume mousse, just to like blow dry the hair away from the face. Working with some of the men's range as well. The deconstructor, just to really create the separation and definition within the hair. And then from that, just finished it off with a little bit of the hairspray. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Speak to you soon.
That's fantastic.
Stand up, darling. Well done, Kevin. It's amazing.
I'm all the way up.
Should I go there? And here's the actual finished look, guys, when it comes to the technique that I've used. If you want to turn around, my lovely. Basically, I really wanted to give emphasis of using one technique, how effective it can be. It depending the actual products that you use, you can go stronger, and the looser you go with your tension, you can go nice and soft.
Gorgeous.
So literally, taking a radial parting that's going to separate the back and the front, zigzagging it to make it a little bit more editorial, and from there, vertical sections down, using the FA technique, coming forward, wetting the hair down with hairspray, making it crispy, then looping it over and using a 4-strand technique, as you can see on either side. Turn around, my lovely. That I folded over, and as a last touch to actually finish it off and blend everything together, take the water spray and just wet the front down while you're working with the juxtaposition of the dry texture at the back using the texturizing volume spray. Okay, and as the official hair care sponsors for London Fashion Week, that Label M is, we've learned so much. We've learned how to see the look from head to toe. It's so important for us, and we're actually in it. We're actually setting the trends. We're not following the trends because we're there backstage with the designer. And actually, it is the technology of the product that will allow us to get the textures. And the techniques is up to us, the hairdressers. Thank you very, very much, and enjoy the rest of the show, guys. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks.
Okay, so this is Lena, who thankfully and beautifully offered to let me cut her hair. She wasn't originally part of our show, but you know, I saw her, we spoke, she was up for a little bit of a change, and we thought, why not? So she got a beautiful color as well from Michelangelo, so thank you very much, Michelangelo. But you know, you can see here that I just haven't stopped just manipulating the texture. Yeah? So I look at it and I think, I'm not quite sure if it's good enough. And just keep going and keep going and keep going. And I love all these really unruly ridges and textures and so on. Yes, maybe our client might not walk out exactly like this. Yeah, but what we want to do is push the boundaries, and then we can kind of just step back a little bit and just do a toned down version on our clients. But our clients love to see us pushing the boundaries. That's why they come to us. Yeah? If we just walk down the road and do what we do every day, then we're just going to get stuck somewhere along the line. Yeah? But if we just take that little step on the wild side once or twice, yeah, then we can experience what hairdressing has to offer, which is a lifetime of experience. You know, I've been hairdressing a long time, and I've never done the same thing twice. You know, and it's the same with you guys as well. And that's why you're sitting here in the audience watching us. And this is why I was sitting in the audience watching the rest of the teams as well, because this is what we love and this is what we do with passion. So I just want to say thank you very much for allowing us to be here. Thanks, guys.
Looks gorgeous. Looks gorgeous.
Hey, thank you. Okay, so you can see obviously pushing our boundaries, all about what one thing we can say, putting a lot of techniques together. Again, sometimes less is more and sometimes more is more. In this case, I think it's quite a powerful shape because it creates a really nice kind of three-dimensional feel through the outside of the head, but then as well have that really strong structured feeling because of the really clean sectioning patterns. Again, obviously with products is really important to achieve as well the strength in the finger wave. We used Holland gloss and also hairspray to really create that a little bit more stacked out effect. Really what I want to share with you guys today is the reason why you're here is because you love your profession. Sometimes we're working so hard that we can't actually experience anymore. We can't play with hair anymore because we're doing too many clients. Again, try to just spend your time and just have fun. Play with hair because it's infinitive and inspiration is all around you. And if you play, you're always going to come up with a new technique. So I hope we inspired you today. Thank you very much.
Amazing. That looks amazing. Okay, so just to wrap it up, if you want to come a little bit closer, so something more commercial. You know, there's a saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Well, to be creative, there's another saying, if it's not broken, break it. In other words, if you've done the braids for so long, it looks great. Okay, it's not broken. Why don't we break it and do something a little bit different? And that's what we've incorporated with this technique. It's the knotted technique that gives you a different feeling. It's a little bit offset, working with the elastic and the distressed texture, and then working with the color spray just to give you a little bit of tone. The more you spray, the more color you're going to get. And then this web effect through the front. From the profile and from the front, it just gives it a more interesting look, especially when you're doing a show or a photo shoot. Another thing that's important for us at Label M, it's not just hair, especially when you're doing shows, it's all about image. Because we work with a lot of the designers in London, we work closely with them and they give us their clothes to be able to create a look from head to toe that creates an image which represents Label M. Well, I hope you like it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Before we play the next VT, we got 2 more small sections. You're going to have the walk with the models, and then you're going to see the avant-garde. Don't go anywhere. You're going to really enjoy the avant-garde. One quick thing, with your goodie bags, you should have a Label M Diamond Dust leave-in cream. You're going to love that. Enjoy it. If you have any questions or if you want to inquire about Label M, go to labelmusa.com and ask us anything. We'd love to help you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You might see me in a Lambo, camel snapback, Rambo, 500 horses, Django, 2-2 chicken, Nando. You might see me in a Rari, old school fella, Atari. It's a new dance, no tango. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. Festa, festa, festa. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. Festa, festa, festa. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. It's me and distortion. Ending careers, abortion. Do not approach, caution. Cause we're taking everything, no portion. We're in our own lane, M1, 10 man, 1 bottle, you're on them ones. It's a new dance, no tango. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. Festa, festa, festa. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. Festa, festa, festa. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. I do things major. You're irrelevant, pager. I'm a maverick, saber. You man are bankrupt, phaser. 3&me is essential. Stay gassed up, petrol. It's a new dance, no tango. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. Festa, festa, festa. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go. Festa, festa, festa. Anywhere I go, I make the gang go.
Got a booty that's out the frame. I'm a booty man, booty man, booty man. I'm a booty man, booty man, booty the booty the booty man, booty man, booty man. She got a booty that's out the frame. booty man, booty man, booty man, I'm a booty man, booty man, booty the booty man, booty man, booty man. She got a booty that's out the frame.
It's a bad fucking listen in that rock sitting there and rock sit in bed back in the like you shut the
I'm in Miami, bitch. I'm in Miami, bitch.
Everybody. We hope you've enjoyed it. I want to thank a couple of people. Firstly, to the international art team who have come from London. Let's give them a massive hand. Come on, guys. All our ambassadors and some of our educators here, thank you very much. Thank you to all the models. Thank you to Marion behind the chair and the team. Thank you. And to the Label M team, Tom, Darlene, Philip, Terry, Sydney, and Deanna. On behalf of Label M and myself, thank you very much. Come see us at the booth. God bless America. Thank you.
Play all night, let's get it poppin'. I'm in Miami Beach, drink all day. Play all night, let's get it poppin'. I'm in Miami
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Label M.
Let's get it poppin'. I'm in Miami Beach, I'm in Miami Beach, I'm in Miami Beach, I'm in Miami Beach, I'm in Miami Beach. I'm in Miami